So there's a psychology experiment that I've heard Paul talk about a few times before, and in this experiment they have two groups of people, and the first group, they give them a choice between 3 different kinds of drinks, and the second group, they give them a choice between 100 different kinds of drinks. And then afterwards they ask the people, how happy they are with their choice. And we might think that the group that has more choices would be happier with their decision. We would tend to think that if you only have 3 choices, maybe you don't really have your favorite drink among those choices. But certainly if you have 100 choices, then you're going to have something that you really like. So we would tend to think that the group that has many more choices would be a lot happier with their choice. But as is often the case with psychology experiments, oftentimes the results are kind of opposite of what we would actually think that they are. And in this experiment, then they actually found that the people who had less choices were far happier with their decision. And I think that there's something really profound in the results of that experiment. If we think about why that is, you can think like if you only have 3 choices, then probably one of those drinks you probably like a lot more than the other 2. So there's a sense of you're kind of getting what you want. Whereas if there's 100 choices, then there's probably a handful of drinks that we really like. So although we might choose the one that we like the most, we still kind of feel like we're missing out. In the back of our mind, we think, well, I have this one drink, but I kind of also wanted those other ones, and maybe I should have chosen those. So there's kind of this sense of having more is not always better. That's kind of the motto of American culture is, more is better, bigger is better. We always think that if we have more money and more experiences, more opportunities for having fun, pleasure, then it's always better. In our society we have like limitless choices nowadays, like going to the store, whatever item that you want, there's probably 100 different varieties of it. There's probably almost 100 different kinds of toothpaste or something like that. When you go to the store, and watching TV, we have probably almost a limitless number of TV shows you could watch, and going online, there's no limit to the things that we can do, watch online. But do these things really make us happy? So this is the way of sensuality is always about more. Like the Buddha said, ever seeking fresh delight, is always trying to get the new experience. But as that experiment shows, the reality is that the more we have, the more avenues of sensual delight that we have, actually the more agitated that it makes the mind. We always feel like we're missing out on something. And so the way of sensuality is always about having more, and the way of meditation is like the opposite. It's about making the mind simple. It's about coming back to a place of simplicity, learning how to allow the mind to return to its original nature, which is simple and still and incredibly bright and peaceful. And I think a lot of times, especially in our culture, we tend to think that simple, things that are simple are boring. It sounds like a quite a boring experience if you don't have a lot of excitement. But that's definitely not the experience of the happiness of meditation. The teachers assure us that the happiness that we can experience in meditation is infinitely greater than the happiness of the world. So the world is all about more experiences, but always having more complexity, it agitates the mind over a long period of time. So the result of worldly happiness is actually agitation, and the result of making the mind simple through meditation is happiness, is a sense of bliss. So the choice between the world and meditation is like a choice between agitation or bliss. So I'll offer that for reflection this morning.